Hello everyone. Today we're going to be working on a new project and it is called 2-point perspective. In the past we have done 1-point perspective, an intro when it was just simple shapes, and then if you had me for 7th grade we did a 1-point perspective project that was a little more in depth, and this year as 8th graders you guys are going to be doing a 2-point perspective project. Now there are going to be separate videos for this entire project because you might miss a Google Meet here and there. So I want to make sure that you have access to the videos at different stages. So we're going to start the drawing of the cabin today. That's what we're going to be drawing. And we'll color it on a separate day. Also, I'm going to do a tutorial on how to do different types of tree drawings. So I'll even have a palm tree drawing in there. So we'll be doing, let me show you what I mean. Oak trees. Okay, so this is what an oak tree looks like. I'm going to be showing you guys how to draw those. That's one in the winter with no leaves. Here's some oak trees with leaves. Also going to be, like I said, showing you guys how to draw pine trees correctly. Not like the kind you used to draw when you were in kindergarten, okay, but to actually be able to draw like a real pine tree. So, like I said, that will be a completely separate video altogether. Now, a lot of you came in the beginning of the year and picked up art packets from Miss Chavone and I. So most of you should have this paper available to you. If not, you can absolutely do this project on a piece of printer paper or a piece of lined paper. Now, if you're going to take this piece of paper out of your notebook, please do tear off this, ragged piece of paper off the edge, okay? Because that's not going to look nice. Once you color this in, it will look fine, even though it has lines in it. So I just want you guys to just use what you have. Now, if you did come in to pick up an art packet, you should have crayons available to you. And if you still need crayons or an art packet, feel free to come pick some up from the school or have your parent or guardian come pick up those things for you, because I do still have some available. If you're in school with me, okay, in cohort A or B, you may take a box of crayons out of the art box if you need one. I have more boxes of crayons, so if you need to take something home to color with, please make sure you take something home to color with. All right, now, the first thing we're going to be doing on our project is we're going to be creating our horizon line. That's the line where our eye perceives the sky to end and the earth to begin. Now, what I've done here is, not everyone has a ruler at home, I understand that. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of lined paper and I folded it in half. I'm going to use this as my guide. So I'm going to take it to the right-hand side, or the left-hand side of my paper. Sorry about that. Left-hand side. Line it up with the bottom, and I'm going to mark off on my paper right there. I'm going to line it up with the bottom again, move it to the center, do that there, and then one on the right-hand side. So you should have 3 marks total on your paper, okay? Now you're better off using lined paper because this is cheaper than this. Now, if you don't have a ruler, find something straight. As you've seen in my videos, if you've watched the Zentangle video and we're following along, you know that you could use a piece of junk mail, you could use Legos, make yourself a ruler out of something straight. That's all you need. Well, I have a piece of cardstock right here, and that's what I'm going to be using to do my project with. So I'm going to line up my first 2 marks, and I'm going to start my horizon line. Now, some of these lines you're going to draw lightly, and I'll let you know which ones those are, because they're going to be guidelines. They're not going to, the whole line isn't going to stay. All right, I should have drawn my horizon line a little bit lighter because it shouldn't go through the cabin. Now, as I said before, you guys have done 1-point perspective. So this year we're doing 2-point. So all the way on the left-hand side of your paper, you're going to make a vanishing point, the point at which all the lines converge or appear to recede into, okay? Then you're going to go to the right-hand side of your horizon line and you're going to draw a vanishing point there as well. So vanishing point on the right, vanishing point on the left. Now I'm going to kind of eyeball this. What looks to be a little bit more to the right-hand side of my paper. I'm going to draw, just lightly sketch a line in. Then I'm going to draw a line above and below my horizon line. I don't know how long this line is. If you have a ruler, I can measure it for you. Let me grab a ruler. All right, so my line's about 3.5 inches tall. Now, anything that's going to be on the left-hand side of my cabin is going to go to the left vanishing point, and anything on the right side of my cabin is going to go to my right vanishing point. So I'm going to connect the top. You should lightly draw this at home because some of this is going to get erased, but I'm going to draw it dark so that you can see it on my paper. So that goes to my left vanishing point. And now this is going to go to my right vanishing point. Now, these cabins that we're drawing, for the background, you can make it any season you want. You can make it summer, spring, winter, fall, whatever you want. So like this cabin I have, obviously it's a winter scene. This covered bridge that I did, this is a spring type scene. So however you want to do it, that's what's going to make it your own individualized project, is like however you do your background. So now I don't want my cabin to go on forever and ever. So I'm going to kind of lightly draw a line here. I'll take my cardstock to make a little bit straighter. And then I want the back of my cabin to end right about there. So now I'm going to draw that in. All right. Now, if, again, you are in the building, take one of these erasers home with you. I have tons of erasers. So take one home with you. And again, if you came and picked up an art packet, you should have one of these in there. And you can erase these lines. We don't need them anymore. They were just guidelines. And the sooner you get rid of them, the less confusing it's going to be. All right, now, on this side of our cabin, we want to make our roof. So we want to eyeball this. I'm not going to measure it. Look for the center. That looks to be about the center for me. Lightly draw this line in right now because it's going to get erased as soon as we are done with it. So I'm going to lightly draw this line in. This is called the pitch of the roof. The top or the apex of the roof right here, that's the pitch. And we're going to draw a line down to the front corner of the cabin. This is going to be our roof. And then we're going to draw a line to the back of our cabin. So this completes the triangle that creates the roof on our house. So see, I told you as soon as we are done with it, we're going to get rid of it. All right. Now I'm going to take my cardstock and draw my line going back to my vanishing point. I'm going to lightly draw it this time though because I don't want to have those dark lines, and this I'll draw darker to about here. Now, I want these two lines to mirror one another. It should be the same slope on the front of the house as it is on the back of the house on the roof. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my paper right here. If you have a ruler, it would be your ruler. And I'm going to line it up with this angle right here. And now I'm going to slowly slide my cardstock to the back of my roof. And I'm going to draw that angle. I mean, they're not going to be exactly the same, but try to get them as close as possible. We're going to put, well, I'm going to put snow on my roof because I'm going to make a winter cabin. You can, you know, do whatever you'd like with that. If you want to put shingles on your roof, you can. It's completely up to you what you want to do with this, okay? All right, so next. I want to make my door a little bit higher than my horizon line. And I do want it centered because I'm going to put 2 windows on either side of this door. Now, if you notice, the bottom of my door is slanted because it's on that line that went back to my vanishing point. So therefore, the top of my door should be the same way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my ruler, well, my paper with my vanishing point, and I'm going to draw the line I'm not going to draw it all the way back to the vanishing point. I don't need to because my cabin ends here. So I'm going to lightly draw in a line on my cabin for the top frame of the door. So I'm going to sketch that in. And this will be the top of the door for my cabin. I can go in and erase the guideline part that I don't need. I'm going to erase the horizon line out the inside of the door. Now on either side of the door, I'm going to draw 2 windows, but I'm going to need guidelines for those as well. So I'm going to go below the horizon line using the vanishing point. I'm keeping my paper on the vanishing point. I'm going to draw a guideline here on this side of the door, and I'm going to draw one here on this side of the door. Now notice, everything I'm drawing on this side of the cabin lines up with the left vanishing point. So now I'm going to move my paper up here, and I want to draw a guideline here and a guideline right here. So now I can darken in my lines. Try to make sure all these lines are parallel. You don't want them slanted. It's going to look awkward if you do. They should be parallel with the side of your paper, with the side of your cabin, with the side of your door. They should all be straight and parallel lines. Parallel lines are lines that will never intersect. You learn that in math class. At least you should learn that in math class. Okay. So now if I'm going to go in, you can make any kind of windows you want. If you want to make windows with different, panes in them, I'm going to probably put the little cross things like that are in that picture. I'm probably going to do those. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do, but we're going to go now to the side of the cabin and we're going to make a chimney on this side of our cabin. So what I want to do, I want to start out making one line attached to the side of the cabin. So it's just going to go straight up here. Okay. Now I'm going to make one out a little bit further because we want this to look 3-dimensional. Now, technically, this little tiny part of the chimney is on the left-hand side of our cabin. So I'm going to make that line at the bottom line up with my left vanishing point, like that, okay? I know it might seem insignificant to you, but it's really not. It's going to make it really look more 3-dimensional, and it's done correctly using proper perspective. Okay, now this side of my chimney is on the right-hand side. So to make it look 3-dimensional, I'm going to use the right vanishing point, and I'm going to draw the other part of my chimney. Okay, then this is going to go up the side of the cabin like that. It's not exactly parallel with the back, so I'm going to try and straighten that out a little bit. Now I'm going to erase this part of my house, my cabin, because that shouldn't go through my chimney. I'm going to slant this up like this, slant that up like that. And then I'm going to use my vanishing point again to connect these. My vanishing point again on the left, because this is the left-hand side of the chimney, like that. And then I'm just going to make 2 lines going up the rest of the way. For my chimney. And then this is going to just go straight up. Now you do want it above the roof line. So again, this is the left-hand side of my chimney, so I need to use this vanishing point all the way over here on the left. So that's the top of the chimney, and then this is going to use the right vanishing point because it's the right-hand side of my chimney. Now I can go in and erase all of this. I don't need it anymore. Now, You can do brick on your chimney if you want, but I think that seems to be like a lot of work. I'm probably just gonna do stone on mine. But remember, if you do the lines for the brick, keep in mind that you have to draw your lines going like this, using this vanishing point, okay? So you would just keep drawing your lines down like that if you're gonna do brick. I'm drawing these really, really light, so I'll show you, I'll zoom in and show you guys what I'm doing, but they all have to be angled to this vanishing point. And then if you're gonna do this side in brick, they should line up like that as well. Okay, so these bricks would line up with this vanishing point, these bricks would line up with this. But I'm probably, like I said, I'm gonna do stone because I think it's probably more simple to do. Now I also wanna draw a small window here. And I'm gonna use my right vanishing point. It's gonna be a really small window. Okay. And it should be the same height and width as the ones on the other side of the house. All right, so this is just gonna be a little window. All right, so this is the bottom of our cabin, and really quick, we're just gonna draw in the dormers on the top of the roof here. And then that's all we're gonna do for today. So we have our drawing of our cabin completed, and we'll complete the rest of this in another video. So I'm just gonna draw 2 light squares or rectangles on the top of my roof for right now, because I'm gonna need to use those vanishing points again. So now I have my lines lightly drawn in. There's 2. And I'm gonna use my left vanishing point to draw the tops of the dormers to this part of the house. And the bottom would be the same. You gotta do the bottom line to the dormer, like that. Now, this is gonna be the right-hand side of my dormer, so I wanna make sure that the line goes back to here and it's gonna connect to the roof. So right-hand side to my roof, there's my dormer. Right-hand side to the roof. Okay, there's my dormer. Connect like that. Again, these should have little tiny roofs on top, so we're gonna do the same exact thing we did on this side of our cabin. We're gonna eyeball it, look for the middle of those, just lightly sketch the pitch. And then we're gonna connect these to the corners of that part of the roof. Then we're gonna go back and connect this to the roof here. And that's pretty much all we're gonna have for the day. Okay? And then if you guys want to, you can draw in some windows here. You can choose what kind of windows you want to put on here. Okay? And that's all we're gonna do for today, okay? So that's the drawing of our cabin. I think my door's a little bit too big, so I think I might make that a little bit smaller. That's why I sketch all this stuff in, guys, because that way it makes it so much easier when you go to try and erase things, okay? So this is all we're doing for this video. Tomorrow I will have another video ready for you if you don't make it to the Google Meet. So I will have these available for you guys to watch, okay? Have fun with it, guys. I hope you enjoy it. And I will talk to you later. Bye.